from Iraq and Afghanistan. Our brave warriors are coming home, wounded. Some with wounds you can see, some with wounds you can't see. Wounded Warrior Project was created to support our men and women coming off the battlefield. Please help carry these warriors the rest of the way home. Get involved at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Feeling lonely this holiday season?
Looking for little human interaction?
Do you want to feel contact in certain special places?
Then why not go through security at an airport?
The TSA.
TSA agents are ready and standing by to give you a little something extra to feel thankful about this holiday season.
The TSA.
What are you waiting for? I want to check under your testicles.
Spending time with a TSA agent couldn't be easier. Simply book a flight departing from any American airport. When selected for a full body scanner, say no. You'll be pulled aside by a TSA agent, and that's when the fun begins. And you never know who your agent will be.
It could be me.
Or me. Or even me.
But it's probably gonna be us. Take off your damn shoes.
The TSA. It's our business to touch yours.
Welcome to the Bureau of Womanhood Conformity. Independent thoughts are considered subversive because all must agree with our leader.
When it comes to women, preventative care should include coverage of contraceptive services such as birth control.
You see, if you don't believe government should pay for your birth control, you're not a real woman. Womanhood denied. If you refuse to accept that pregnancy is a punishment, you're denied as well.
I don't want them punished with a baby.
If you don't believe that abortions should be allowed for any reason, if you don't believe in aborting a child for being the wrong gender, and if you don't believe that stay-at-home mothers aren't real workers, you are not a real conformed woman.
His wife has actually never worked a day in her life. His wife has actually never worked a day in her life.
Finally, for your safety, if you oppose mandatory government health care, you will die.
They will be voting to say that women can die on the floor.
These standards and regulations were formed after our glorious victory in the war on women. Thank you for your cooperation and your conformity.
Today is a special day. Today we gather as a nation and as an international community to recognize the selfless decision of one of the most influential women of our time. She's been recognized by religious figures and politicians around the world. To us, she's just Rachel. But to the rest of the world, she is the woman who, after having one too many drinks, chose not to drive home buzzed. Here today to honor Rachel is the family whose lives she spared.
Save a life. Don't drive buzzed. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
I was in chronic pain, and my family struggling to make ends meet, food and gas prices going up, even keeping my job was iffy. Then I learned about a new miracle drug made in Washington, D.C., Spenditol. Spenditol is Washington's answer to all the painful problems Americans face. How to borrow $800 billion for a stimulus that didn't create jobs or fix the economy? Spenditol.
Spenditol is not for everyone. Side effects may include a mountain of government debt piled on our kids, a sudden loss of freedoms, higher prices for everything, leaving our kids a lesser America than we had. Ask your doctor or congressman if your conscience is strong enough for Spenditol.
And it's so popular in Washington, we have to import trillions more of it from China. Spenditol makes you feel better now and pushes off the really bad stuff till later, for them to deal with.
Call the White House and Congress. Tell them, stop spending it all.
You're listening to The Rod Eccles Show.
And we are back. Yes, I am your lovable host, El Rod, and I am still coming to you live from my bunkerized home studio somewhere in the great granite state of New Hampshire. The growth, USA Today. Now, this is one of those things I talk about, how, you can give the information to liberals, you can give them the facts from their own sources. And they still want to call you a liar or blind or what have you. Growth from the USA Today, and we know that USA Today is not a conservative ragmag. But growth is higher in red states than in blue states and in swing states. Now, when I brought this information forward, you know the answer that I got? Oh, sure. That's because those red states, they have more food stamp recipients. I'm thinking, well, okay, I guess you might be able to say that of Mississippi and Alabama, but you can't say that of places like Texas and Montana. And the two biggest red state growth in the country, the two states, the Dakotas. Why? 30% growth rate in North Dakota and 15% growth rate in South Dakota? Because of oil. Oh, yeah, they got a lot of oil up there. They're getting that oil out of the ground. But, Texas. You think Texas has got a lot of food stamp recipients? No, but on the other hand, those blue states, the state with one of the top three largest homeless populations in the country, California, shrunk by over a percentage point. And they've got freaking high taxes. Oh, yeah, that's the other thing. Most of the red states that are growing like crazy, they have low taxes. Swing states, they just can't get their act together, kind of like New Hampshire. But the other swing state, one of the worst performers out there, well, who's their senator? Harry Reid. Yeah, the great state of Nevada. Their economy's down over 10.5%. Huh. So we have all these wonderful, and Michigan has turned itself around, but they're still down a full percentage point. But so we got Nebraska up over 8%, Texas up over 8.5%. Even Mississippi and Alabama are up over 2.5% each. Louisiana up over 3%. Red states, folks. And up in Alaska, where I can't see Russia from my house, is up nearly 11%. Oh, wait. If I'm not mistaken, Alaska doesn't have a income tax, does it? No. Huh. Well, isn't that wonderful? The income of those living in red states has climbed over 4.5% since the recession began in December of 2007. A USA Today analysis of total increases found The average income of those living in blue states and swing states saw a much slower increase. The personal income of blue states has increased 0.5%, while in swing states the increase was a total of only 1.4%. Oh, maybe you know what I'm afraid of? That my wonderful state that used to be blue, that's now a swing state of New Hampshire, used to be red, it's becoming a blue state. It really is. And it's insane. I'm thinking that, hey, it might be time to, I kind of like, snow in the winter. I don't necessarily like it when it's 0 or 50 below or anything, but I like the 4 seasons. Well, I like 3.5. Can I be honest? I really don't like the months of February, March, and April. Because February, it kind of wears on you, the cold and everything. And it's usually a snowier month, and you always have to go out there and brush off your car and blah 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 and all that kind of stuff. February gets boring. It's a good thing it's the shortest month of the year. And then March and April, well, it just can't make up its mind. One day it's 70 degrees, the next day you got a snowstorm, and it's mud season in April. I hate it. But I also happen to like the fall. Yeah, I like summer. I mean, summers are not long enough up here in New England, but I love summer. And I love the fall, especially the foliage. The foliage. The changing of the colors and all the tweeds. I love that. They don't have that in Alaska. I mean, I might move to Alaska, but they don't have, it's nothing but evergreen. It's like living in northern Michigan. It's nothing but evergreens. There's no color change in the fall. And there's no color change at all in Texas. Does Texas even have trees? I know somebody's out there laughing because I just said that. Ha ha ha! Rod doesn't know if there's trees in Texas. Only a liberal would really take me seriously about that. But I like to give them something to laugh about every once in a while, because lately they've had nothing to laugh about. Liberals don't laugh anyway. You ever notice that liberals tend to be mean, ornery, depressed people? I mean, they're just angry all the time. They really are. They're just angry all the time. And this is the kind of news that drives them over the deep end. What are you talking about? That ain't right. They say we need to raise taxes. Well, see, the states with some of the highest taxes are some of the worst performers since the recession. And by the way, I brought up a point today on Facebook, and this is factual, and you can go check it out yourself. But yeah, and this is something that liberals don't even want to talk about. They can't stand this fact. But yet and still, they can't argue against it. They can try until, you go tell them to go check it out for themselves. But Dubai, they don't have taxes. They don't have an income or corporate tax. Dubai came out, one of the first countries to come out of the recession. Big time, booming again. There's all kinds of money and investment. In fact, Dubai it doesn't have a zero unemployment rate. It has a negative unemployment rate. Now, what do I mean by a negative? It means there aren't enough people in all of Dubai to fill all the positions. Why do you think when you go to Dubai, you see so many Southeast Asians from like the Philippines, from Thailand, from Cambodia? Because they're going to Dubai for jobs. Because they're there. Because business and people are flooding Dubai with money. And all that money is creating more money. Just saying. And there's very little, if any, poverty in Dubai. Oh, wait, what? What? That can't be Rod. That can't be right. Look, don't believe me. Check it out for yourself. Look, I know that there are people out there that they even claim that, well, you just don't like government. You don't like taxes. No. I like a well-balanced government. Our government is way too big. it doesn't serve us, we the people. It doesn't serve us. It serves itself. It's corrupt. It's bloated. They take too much money from